Okay, very good morning to all of you. So, welcome to today's discussion um, about stack and its operations. In the previous class, we have discussed about the two different types of operations what we can perform on the stack. So, we have seen how to perform push operation onto the stack and how to perform pop operation on the stack. A very simple approach what we followed. I'll briefly recapitulate yesterday's discussion. So we have discussed about stack and its operations. If this is assumed to be a stack of size 5, and you can give any other name for this in terms of programming, and we have seen how to implement the stack using the arrays, right? If this is the stack, and we know that array indexing will start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when there are no elements onto the stack, top will be pointing to -1. Top is the variable or pointer which is always used to point to the topmost element in the stack. And we have studied two different operations, that is push operation and the pop operation. Push operation and the pop operation. What is push? Inserting an element onto the stack is called as a push operation. Deleting an element from the stack is called as a pop operation. This is what we have seen. And the conditions what we have to check is, while performing push operation, you have to check the overflow condition. That is, check whether stack is full. If stack is full, we cannot insert the elements. And while performing pop operation, you have to consider, you have to check the situation of underflow. We have to check the situation of underflow. So what is underflow? Underflow is nothing but stack is empty and we are trying to perform deletion from the stack. So these are the conditions what we have to check. While performing push, check whether stack is full, because if stack is full, we cannot insert the elements. While performing deletion, check whether stack is empty. If stack is empty, empty means there are no elements in the stack and you are trying to delete the elements, that is not possible. So these two conditions you have to check. Now let us see how do we perform the push operation. So before you insert an element onto the stack, array indexing will start from 0. You should first increase the top and make it to point to the topmost location. So what is the procedure for insertion? First increment the top. I will write small t for the top. First increment the tag. Assume these are the elements what we want to store. 10, 20, 30, 40 and the 50. These are the elements what we want to store. Increment the top and in that location, and whenever you increment the top, check is the stack is full. We have to check whether the stack is full. So when stack will be full, whenever t is pointing to the topmost entity, that is whenever t is equal to maximum size of the stack minus 1. So what is maximum size of the stack? Maximum size of the stack is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. So whenever top is pointing to 4, then only we say stack is full. In other case, we can go on inserting the elements. That's what we have seen already. So what I have to do now? Top has been incremented. In that location, store the element, that is 10. So 10 has been inserted successfully. 10 has been inserted successfully. If you want to insert one more element, what is that we have to do? Increment the top. And there you insert the next element. There you insert the next element. So in this case, top is pointing here. So on we go on inserting all the elements. Increment the top, insert the elements. Increment the top, insert the element. Increment the top, and insert the element. At this point of time, top is pointing to index 4. Now we have successfully inserted all the elements. Now if you want to insert one more element 60, before insertion we will check whether top is pointing to whether stack is full. So how do you find stack is full? Stack is full when it is pointing to the maximum capacity of the stack minus 1. So in this case, top is pointing to maximum capacity of the stack, and we say that stack is full. We cannot insert new elements onto the stack. So that was push operation. Pop operation, we do exactly reverse. So how do you perform pop operation? Remove the topmost element from the stack, then decrement the top. That's what is the procedure. But before deleting, you have to check whether the stack is empty. And when we say stack is empty, stack is empty only when this top is equal to -1. When this top is pointing to -1, we say that there are no elements in the stack. When there are no elements in the stack, then stack will be empty. Now in this scenario, if you want to pop one more element, check whether stack is empty. No, stack is not empty because top is pointing to 3. We can still delete one element. So we'll pop one element from the stack and then we will decrement the top. Now top is pointing to this index. If you want to pop one more element, check stack is empty. Yes, it is not empty. We can delete the element. It is not empty. We can delete one element, topmost element from the stack and decrement the top. Now top will be made to point to this location. If this is the scenario, do you want to delete one more element? Check whether top is pointing to -1. No, stack is not empty. There are still elements on the stack and we can still delete topmost element. And top will be decremented to point to this location. Now if you want to delete one more element, it is possible because there is one more element. Delete the topmost element, then decrement the top and make top to point to -1. When this is the scenario, if you still want to delete one more element from the stack, and that particular situation is called as underflow. Why? Because stack is empty. There are no elements in the stack, but still you are trying to delete the element, and that particular situation is called as a stack underflow or stack empty. So this was the foundation what we have discussed in the previous class. This is what we studied about stack in the previous class. Okay, now let us see the implementation. Implementation also we have seen the procedure. That is what is the algorithm to perform push operation and algorithm to perform pop operation. Now let us see how to implement it in terms of program. That is, let us develop the code for implementing the stack operations. Now we are using in this case array. Using array we are trying to develop the stack operations. We are using arrays to implement the different stack operations. These are the required header files. Right. So stack is being declared of size 5. That means maximum elements what we can insert on stack is 5. So stack of 5. Remember, stack is a global variable. It is a global array here. What this line calls here is it is going to declare an stack of size 5. So it is simply going to declare stack of size 5. So what is the name which is being given to it? Stack is the name being given to it. And what is its size? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is its size. And obviously it will be -1. And what the next statement says? Next statement, top is being initialized to -1. Top is being made to point to -1. This is what is called as initialization of the stack. Or we are always beginning with this initial condition for the stack. What is the initial condition? A stack is created and name given for that is stack, and which is having index values from 0 to 4, and top is initialized to -1. Now this indicates empty stack. Now at this situation, stack is empty. With these two lines, we have declared one stack array and we have initialized top to -1. And these are the different functions for inserting an element. It will take one parameter. Pop is for deleting one element from the stack, which will not take any of the parameters. Display is simply for displaying all the elements of the stack. So we are declaring these prototypes. These prototypes will help to inform the compiler that so and so functions are being used in the program later. So function prototyping will help to compiler. It will instruct the compiler that the functions are being used in the program. Now, as usual, the program execution will always start from the main function. Program execution will start from the main function. So these are some of the local variables which are being used. Choice, just to store the choice being entered by the user. Choice is a variable which is used for storing the choice which will be entered by the user. Number 1 and number 2 are the two variables which are initialized to 0. That is, number 1 is equal to 0, number 2 is also equal to 0, and choice is one more integer variable. So we are declaring some independent memory locations for them. Like how we have seen in previous programs, this is an infinite loop. Till you enter exit choice, this will be repeatedly displaying these options for the user. So this is just an interactive interface for interacting with the program. User can interact with the program with this. So what it is used, it is going to display the options. Select choice for the following operations. What? If you want to perform push operation, give choice 1. If you want to perform pop, give choice 2. If you want to display the element, choice 3. If you want to exit from the different operation, choice is 4. Then we ask user to enter the choice, and that will be stored in a variable called choice. So whatever choice you enter, that will be stored in a variable choice, and switch statement will be executed. For whatever choice you have entered, the corresponding cases will be matched. If you have given choice 1 here, case 1 will match. If you have given choice 2, case 2 will match. If you have given choice 3, case 3 will match. If you have given choice 4, case 4 will match, and then default, that is invalid choice. Right? So case 1 is for insert operation or push operation. Case 2 is for pop. 3 is for display. 4 is for exit. Now let us first create the stack. That is, case 1, assume that case 1 is being executed. These are the statements which are present within the case 1. All these are the statements which are present within case 1. So what is happening within case 1? We are asking simply user to enter the element which you want to insert onto the stack. Just enter the element to be inserted onto the stack. So user is free to enter the element which he want to insert onto the stack. So whatever element you have, so let us assume the same input whatever we have discussed just now, that is 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So let us say the first number what you have entered is 10, and you want to insert that 10 onto the stack. So we are calling push function by passing 10 as a parameter. How this function will get called now? Push function is being called by passing 10 as a parameter because we want to insert 10 onto the stack. Same way it will be called for all the 5 elements. All the 5 elements. Now whenever we are calling push function, now control will get transferred to the definition of the push function. What happens? Program control gets transferred. Program control gets transferred to the definition or body of the push function. Body of the push function. Now we have to execute the push function, and after that it will return back to the same column. Now let us go to the definition of the push function. Yes, this is where the push function is. Right, this is what is the push function. So what we have in our hand is a stack which we already have. This is a stack whose size is 5, which can hold 5 elements, and name for this array is stack. These are the index values 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are the index values what we have in our hand. Now, what is the procedure? It was -1. Top was made to point to -1 in the beginning. This is what the initialization we have made in the beginning. This is what the initialization what we have made in the beginning. Right. Now, what is the element that we have received from the main function? We wanted to insert an element called 10. We wanted to push an element called 10. So that is being copied in the variable local variable called 10. Now, before we insert some element onto the stack, what is that we have to check always? We have to check whether stack is full. Because if stack is full, we cannot insert new elements onto the stack. How do we check stack is full? We know that stack is full when top points to this topmost location. That is 4. Top is points to 4 because here we have assumed that size of the stack as 5. If size of the stack is 5, then maximum possible index is 4. If size of the stack is 10, the maximum possible index is 9. If size of the stack is n, maximum possible index is n minus 1. That's it. So here specific code is being assumed. Is top is equal to is top is equal to 4? Is it true? We have to check this condition always before you insert. Is top is it equal to 4? In this case, what is top? Top is equal to -1. That means it is not full. There is some space available onto the stack. We can insert elements onto the stack. That means this will execute only when stack is full. That means now if statement is false, that means we will go for the remaining two statements. These statements will execute only when stack is full. In our case, stack is not full, and we have space available onto the stack, and we can still insert some elements onto the stack. Before insertion, what is the procedure that we have studied? Top should be made to point to the first possible index. That is, increment the top and make it to point to this location. That's what we are doing. Just increment the top by 1. Top equal to top plus 1. Top is made to point to next location. Top present value of top is -1. Here, what happens when you perform top equal to top plus 1? Present value of top is what? -1. -1 plus 1 is what? 0. So top is made to point to 0. When top is pointing to this location, it will not point here. Now we have incremented successfully top by 1. Now this is the location where we want to store the new element called 10. How can I access this location? Name of this array is stack. How can I access this index? This index is accessed by using the top. That means stack of top equal to the element. Yes, that is what is the statement. Stack of top equal to element. That means at the top index of the stack array, store the element. That means at the 0th index of stack array. At the 0th index of stack array, write the element 10. This is what is the meaning of this. That is stack of top. Stack of 0 is equal to 10. So we are successfully inserting 10 onto the stack. This is how we are able to insert one new element onto the stack. We have successfully inserted one new element onto the stack. Right? So now let us insert one more element called 20. Let us insert one more element called 20 onto the stack. As usual, before you insert elements onto the stack, you have to check whether stack is full. How do you check? If top is equal to 4, what is top in this case? Top is pointing to 0. That means still it is not pointing to 4. Still there are 4 spaces available on the stack. We can still insert some elements. So if it is false, we'll go for the else part. What is the procedure? Just increment top by 1. Top equal to top plus 1. Top is being made to point to the next possible index. That is, top is incremented. Now top is, I'll write short form T for top. Now top is pointing to 1. Once you increment the top, in that index, that is stack of top, stack of 1 is equal to element. What is top now? Top is 1. Stack of 1, you write the new element which you want to insert. What is the new element? 20. Stack of top equal to 20. we have successfully inserted element 20 onto the stack. Element 20 is inserted successfully onto the stack. Now let us insert one more element called, because we have to insert all the elements and check the overflow condition also, or stack full condition also we have to check. New element. See, this is here I am assuming that this infinite loop is being displayed once again. All these options will get displayed once again after every insertion, and you are giving choice one again. You are entering element called 30 here, and then push function is being called once again. Every time you insert the number, the function definition is being called, and it will come back to the caller. So this is the basic about the function what we know, right? Now the third element what we are trying to insert is 30. Before you insert an element, check whether stack is full. How do you check? Top is equal to 4. No, top is not equal to 4. There are some space available onto the stack. We'll go for the else part. What is the procedure? Just increment top by 1. Make top 2 point to the next free location. Make top 2 point to the next free location, and in that location store the new element which you want to store. Store the new element which you want to store. So what is the new element is 30. How do you access this location? Stack of top. Stack of top, in that location store the element. What is the element? Element is 30. So 30 will get stored in this location, right? So we have inserted successfully an element called 30. So let us say that from the main function, see, after this what happens? The control will get transferred to the main function. Then what happens? Break will execute. From the case one, break will execute. This break will execute. Again, the options will be displayed for the user. You will be selecting again choice one, push. Then what happens? The element 40, you want to insert element 40 now. That will be passed to the push function. Push function will come to this location. That is what is happening in the background. For every element which you want to insert, these things will take place. Now 40 you want to insert. Before you insert 40, check whether stack is full. No, stack is not full. Why? Because top is not equal to 4. This condition is false. Once this condition is false, control will go to the else statement. That means when if is false, the remaining statements will execute. What is that procedure? Simply increment top by 1 and make top to point to the next index location, and there you store the next element. That is stack of top. This top now, top is equal to 3. Stack of 3 equal to new element. What is new element? 40. In this location, store the new element 40. We have successfully inserted new element called 40 onto the stack. Now let us say that once again the control goes back to the main function. Break statement will execute from the switch statement. Once again all the 5 options will be displayed for the user. You will select the push operation again, and you are passing 50 as the element at this point of time. So 50 is being passed. Check whether stack is full. Stack is full only when top is equal to 4. So top is equal to 4. No, it is false. Then there is space available onto the stack. We can insert the elements onto the stack. What is the procedure? Simply increment the top and make it to point to the next location. That is top equal to top plus 1. Now the index value for top is 4. So top has been successfully incremented, and in that location write the element. Stack of top, that is stack of 4 is equal to element 50. Element is 50 is successfully written. Control will again go back to the caller. Control will again go back to the caller. Break statement will execute. Again these choices will be displayed to the user. Say you have selected choice 1 once again. You want to again push the element onto the stack. We will ask user to enter the element which they want to store. Let us say you have given 60 now. You want to insert one more element called 60. Call the push function by passing 60 as the parameter. Push function is getting called once again. Now control will get transferred to the definition of the push function. And we are present at the definition of the push function. Which element we are trying to insert now? We are trying to insert an element called 60. Before you insert elements onto the stack, what is that you have to check? Whether stack is full. How do you check? Compare top to 4. If top is equal to 4, top is equal to 4, that means stack is already full. we cannot insert the elements now. That's what when if is true, all these statements will execute. What it says, simply says stack is full, we cannot insert elements onto the stack. Just wait for user to enter one character and then exit, terminate the execution of the statements. That is how the push operation works. What we have done, we have successfully implemented different push operations onto the stack, and we have also checked the overflow condition, full condition onto the stack. Now what happens, control will go back to the statement, the main function once again, break will execute. Again, all these choices will be displayed to the user. Now, before we go for pop, let us display all the elements of the stack. Let us display all the elements of the stack because some elements are available. Let us display elements of the stack. Say you have given choice 3. Let us assume that user has entered choice 3. So is there audio video synchronization till now? Is there any disturbance? Because I was experiencing network issue in the beginning. Is everything okay?
Yes, sir.
Because if I power on this video because of network issues, there will be sometimes it is possible that the audio video may not get synchronized. I have the option to check that. Okay, so now let us assume that we have selected choice 3. That means we want to display the elements now. We want to display all the elements of the stack. Okay, once you give choice 3, the display function is being called. Once you give choice 3, the display function is being called. Now the control will get transferred to the definition of the display function. So let us go to the definition of the display function, where we display or show all the elements of the stack. This is pop function, which we will discuss later. Now this is where is the display function, right? So now we want to display all the elements of the stack. We want to display all the elements of the okay, I can write it immediately once again. What is our present status of the stack now? Present status of the stack is we have 5 elements onto the stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements onto the stack. Name of our stack array is stack. These are the index values what we have now. And where top is pointing? Top is pointing to the index 4. And what are the elements present here? These are the elements what we have in our stack. Now let us assume that display function is being called, and now we have to execute body of the display function. Display function is being executed. We are taking one local variable called I. Just for traversal purpose, we'll assume one local variable I, and this statement is being displayed as it is. The various elements of the stack are, that is what the elements of the stack are, and we are using for loop. We are displaying it from top to bottom only. Take the variable I. For loop, how the for loop works? For loop works, that is, first initialization will be done, then condition checking part will be executed. See here, I'll separate it. This is There is only one statement in the for loop. There is only one statement in the for loop, right? So this is initialization statement of the for loop. This is condition checking statement of the for loop, and this is modifier part or incrementation or decrementing. That is, here we modify the loop control variable. What is the loop control variable in our case? I is the loop control variable. I is the loop control variable. So what we are doing in the initialization part, I is being initialized to top. That means whatever is the value present in the top, that is being assigned to I. What is the value present in top? The value present in top is 4. That is index value. Index value of top is 4. But this is the value present at the fourth index. So this variable always refers to these index values. So always you should not get confused. This top is the pointer which will always refer to the index values, not the content of the stack. Content of the stack is referred by specifying the index value along with the name of the array. That is different. So top is I is equal to top. Now value of I is 4. Check, is it greater than or equal to 0? Condition is check, is it greater than or equal to 0? 4 is greater than or equal to 0. It is true. Once the condition is true, we will enter into the for loop and execute all the statements present within the for loop. We have only one statement within the for loop. So what we are doing, simply trying to display an integer value, and this is what is the corresponding argument for that. Stack of I will be displayed in the place of %d format specifier. That means we are trying to display integer. What is stack of I? I is 4. What is stack of 4? So I'll just try to show output here, how the output looks like. Stack of 4 is what? Stack of 4 is what? Stack of 4 is 50. So 50 is getting displayed. After displaying 50, see here we have backslash n. What it indicates? Cursor will move to the next line and cursor will be blinking here. So that next output will be displayed onto the next line, fresh line. We will go for incrementing the modifier part. What is happening in the modifier part? In the modifier part, we are decrementing the value of I. Now value of I becomes 3. That is I minus minus. I is 4. Once you decrement it, it will become 3. I was 4. After decrementing, I becomes 3. After decrementing, check the condition once again. Whether I is greater than or equal to 0. Yes, it is true. I is greater than or equal to 0. It is true. That means once the condition is true, we will enter into the for loop once again. We will enter into the for loop once again. Now display the next value. That is, display stack of I now. What is I? I is 3. What is stack of 3? Stack of 3 is 40. So 40 will be displayed in this location, wherever cursor was blinking. After displaying 40, what it is, here we have backslash n. Now cursor will go to the next line. Cursor will be blinking here. After executing all the statements in the for loop, what happens? Modifier part will be executed. Control will get transferred to the modifier part. What is happening in the modifier part? We are decrementing the value of the I by 1. The new value of I becomes 2. I will be decremented by 1. I minus minus I becomes 2 now. After decrementing, again check the condition. What is that condition? Whether I is greater than or equal to 0. Is it true? Yes, it is true. I is 2. 2 is greater than or equal to 0. It is true. We will enter into the for loop. Then now display stack of 2. What is stack of 2? Stack of 2 is 30. So 30 will be displayed in this location. After displaying, we have backslash n. Cursor will go to the next line. Right? Cursor will go to the next line. After displaying, after executing statements in the for loop, control will get transferred to the modifier part. We will decrement again I by 1. Now I becomes 1. Is that 1 is greater than or equal to 0? Yes, it is true. Enter into the for loop and display stack of 1. Stack of 1 is what? 20. So 20 will be displayed successfully and cursor will be blinking here. Next, modifier part, what it does? Decrement the value of I by 1. So I will become 0. Is that 0 is greater than or equal to 0? Yes, it is true. we will display stack of 0. Stack of 0 is what? 10. So 10 is successfully displayed. After displaying, cursor will be blinking here if there are some more elements to be displayed. Next, again we'll go for the modifier part. I minus minus I becomes minus 1 because 0 minus 1 is what? Minus 1. Check this condition. Is it true now? What this condition says? This condition says whether minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. No, it is false. Minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. This condition is false. So once this condition is false, we will come out of the for loop. And once you come out of the for loop, we have successfully displayed all the elements of the stack. So this is what is all the elements of the stacks have been successfully displayed. And after completion of the definition of the display function, control will again get transferred to the main function. That means that switch statement 3 has been successfully displayed. We have successfully displayed all the elements of the stack. We will obtain one character and break statement will execute. Once again, all the 4 options will be given for the user. Once again, these options will display what you want to do. You want to push the element, pop the element, or display the element. What we have seen is we have seen push operation and we have seen display operation. Now let us see the pop operation. That means user is giving choice to. User is giving choice to. So what user is giving now? User wants to perform case 2. User want to perform case 2. So what case 2 says? Case 2 means you want to remove or pop an element from the stack. That is what is the case 2. So remember, for the pop, we don't pass any of the parameter. We are simply removing an element from the top of the stack. That removed element will be assigned to number 2. That means here RHS. In this RHS first we will call definition. Call definition of pop function. We are going to call a definition of the pop function, or control will get transferred to definition of the pop function. And once the pop function is executing, then return call. Return will execute. So what it is being written? The topmost element will be returned and that will be assigned to number 2. The topmost element will be returned and that will be assigned to number 2, and that is getting displayed in the next statement. What is that? Element popped out from the stack is number 2. So this happens for every pop. This happens for every pop until the stack becomes empty. Now let us say that we have called pop function for the first time. Let us go to the definition of the pop function, how the pop function works. We know that procedure. What is the definition? What is the simple procedure for pop? For pop, before we delete an element from the stack, we should check whether stack is empty. Because if stack is empty, we cannot delete the elements from the stack. 2, 1, 0. Where top is pointing? Top is pointing to 4. What are the elements? 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10. This is minus 1 index. This is the present status of our stack. And now we want to delete or pop the elements from the stack. Before we pop the element, we should check whether stack is empty. And we know that stack is empty only when this top is pointing to minus 1. Check this condition. If top is equal to minus 1, if this is true, then we say stack is empty. If this is true, then we say stack is empty and we'll come out of the execution. If this is false, then simply what we can do here is, we are accessing the topmost element from the stack and then we are decrementing. This is post decrement. There is some trick which I need to explain. What we are returning here is, I need something else. I'll just separate this so that I can explain it. Return, what we are trying to return, we are returning this stack of. Right. And I need some space for writing this. Okay. So what we are returning? We are returning whatever is outcome of this. We are returning whatever is outcome of this, we are returning. Now let us see what is the outcome of this. What is the outcome of this? That is, we are returning some element present at the stack array at this particular index value. Present in the stack array at this particular index value. How do you access stack of this index? Now, what is the index that we are accessing? Present value of the top. What is present value of the top? Returning the top element and decrement the stack pointer. That is the procedure what we are doing. We are simply returning the topmost element and decrementing the top. How it is treated here is stack of top. What is top index value? Top is 4. 4 then minus minus. That is stack of 4 minus minus. This is post decrement. What it indicates here is use the value of top, then decrement it. Use the value of top, then decrement it. What is top now? Top is 4. So what it does here is, what is stack of 4? Stack of 4 is 50. 50 will be returned. Return to the caller, and then top minus minus will be executed. That means decrement the value of top by 1. Now top becomes 3. Now top becomes 3. That is how it works. Post decrement. First use the value of top, then decrement it. Now top points to this location. For our understanding, we will erase this, assuming that it has been popped or removed out from the stack. That is how the post decrement works. It is post decrement. First use the value of top, then decrement it. Use the value of top, then decrement it. So I'll take one more iteration for explanation purpose. Let us say you want to delete once again, you want to pop once again. Check is top is equal to minus 1. No, top is not equal to minus 1. Now we have to pop the next element. That means we have to return next element. Which element? From this stack array. From which index? From this top index. What is the top index now? Top index is 3. Obtain the element from the third index. Stack of top. Obtain the element, then decrement the top by 1. First use the value of top, then decrement it. What is stack of top? Stack of top is 40. So 40 will be returned to the caller. 40 will be returned to the caller. Then top will be decremented. Top minus minus. Now top becomes 2. Now the top becomes 2. Now top is pointing to index value 2. For our understanding purpose, I will delete this. Okay, this is how the pop works. Now assume you want to pop once again, and we'll check these conditions. It is false. Stack of top minus minus. We want to return some number now. What is this? This we want to return. What is top index now? The value of top is 2. What is stack of top? Stack of 2 is what? Stack of 2 is 30. So 30 will be returned to the caller. Then top will be decremented. Decrement the top to point to the previous location. For our understanding purpose, I will delete this. Now top is pointing to index 2. So once index 1, once you perform top minus minus, new value of top becomes 1. So what will be returned now? 30 will be returned. Now let us say you want to pop once again. You will call the pop function once again from the main function. So before you pop, we'll check whether top is equal to minus 1. No, it is false. That means there are some more elements present on the stack. We can still perform the pop operation. Else return what? You have to return the element from the stack array present at the top index, then decrement the top by 1. What is the top index? Top index is 1. Stack of 1. Stack of 1 is what? Stack of 1 is 20. That means return this 20, then decrement the top, because it is post decrement. Use the value of top, then decrement it. So 20 will be returned to the caller, and top is being decremented. Now where top is pointing? Top is pointing to 0. Top becomes 0. Top is pointing to 0. Once again, if you want to delete one element from the stack, that is pop operation you want to perform, we will check whether top is equal to minus 1. This has been written already. Top is equal to -1? No, false. That means there are, I think I should erase this. Okay. Now there are some elements onto the stack. What we will do? We will return stack of top. What is top index? Top index is 0. What is stack of 0? Stack of 0. Stack of 0 is 10. That means 10 will be returned to the caller. Return 10 to the caller. After returning, then decrement the top. Perform post decrementing. Now top becomes -1. 0 minus 1 is what? -1. Top -1 is what doing. 0 minus 1 is -1. Now top is pointing to index 0. Now top is pointing to index 0. Right? This is how we have performed all the pop operations. Assume after doing all these, if you want to delete one more element from the stack, if you call once again the pop function, what happens? First we check the condition whether top is equal to -1. It is true in this case. We have deleted all the elements. Now top is pointing to -1. Top is pointing to -1. In this case, what we say, stack is empty. There are no elements in the stack. There are no elements in the stack. Why there are no elements in the stack? Top is pointing to -1. There are no elements in the stack, and we'll print this statement and we'll simply stop the execution. These were all the operations what we have seen. These were all the different operations onto the stack. Case 3, and if you execute case 4, we will terminate the execution. Default case will tell the user to enter the proper choice. Default case will tell the user to enter the proper choice. Right, these were all the operations. Quickly I will give the demonstration of this program. This is a stack program. I'll simply have typed and saved this program. I'll execute the program. Right, as you know, these are the different operations which are being displayed to the user. I hope this font will be easy for you to see. Okay, so these are the different operations: 1 for push, 2 for pop, and 3 for display, 4 for exit. So let us insert 5 elements onto the stack. Like whatever procedure I followed for explanation, same way I'll give the input. Choice 1. Enter the element to be inserted or pushed onto the stack. Say the first element was 10. So 10 has been successfully inserted. Again, I will give choice 1. Element is 20. Again, I will give choice 1. Element is 30. Again, I will give choice 1. So element is 40. So we have inserted 4 elements successfully onto the stack now: 10, 20, 30, and 40. So let us display them and check. Choice 3. Yes, as you can see, the various stack elements are 40, 30, 20, and 10. Now there is one more space available onto the stack. We can still insert one more element onto the stack. So what I'll do, I'll give choice 1 again. That means we want to push one more element. I'll give 50. Right? Now all the elements have been occupied. All the spaces have been occupied. Let us display and check it. 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10. These are the elements of the stack. Right? Now we know that the maximum size of the stack is 5. We can store only 5 elements onto this stack. Now I will try to insert one more element. Give choice 1 again, enter. Enter the element to be inserted onto the stack. Say I will give 60. Is it possible to insert the 60 now? No, it is not possible to insert 60. Why? Because maximum size of the stack is 5. Now once you try this, we'll get the message. What is that? Stack is full. The maximum capacity of the stack was 5, and we have successfully inserted 5 elements. If you try to insert 6th element, that will not get inserted. Okay, we will stop the execution. Now let us check, run once again. See there, if you want, you can remove that exit 0 in the code. So you can remove that exit 0 and still we can insert still we can continue with the different operations. That is possible. But the code is written like this. That's why we have to rerun the program for demonstrating pop operation. For demonstrating pop operation. Enter your choice. Choice 1. Element to be inserted is 10. Choice 1, 20. choice 1 30, choice 1 40, choice 1 50, okay, choice 1 60. Once you say stack is full, no. I'd have gone for pop operation. One second. I have to demonstrate pop operation. Okay, 1 push, insert 10, 1, insert 20, 1, insert 30, 1, insert 40. Okay. So let us display 3, 10, 30, 20 and 40, 30, 20, 10. So insert 1, 50. Choice 3 display. Okay, now let us perform pop operation. Choice 2, if you perform pop, which element will be displayed first? 50 will be displayed first. See, 50 is the element which is popped out from the stack. Once again, if you perform pop, 40 is the element which is popped out from the stack. We have deleted 50 and 40. Let us display and check. As you can see, 50 and 40 have been deleted. The remaining elements are 30, 20 and 10. So let us delete all the elements and check for stack empty condition. Choice 2, 30 gets deleted. Choice 2, 20 gets deleted. Choice 2, 10 gets deleted. Again, choice 2, stack is empty. There are no elements in the stack and we cannot perform the pop operation. These are all the operations onto the stack. We have seen the different operations of the stack along with the demonstration.